Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Gina and I thought today it would be nice to give you a little introduction and tell you a little bit about myself. I have been living on the road now for the last 4.5 years as a nomad. My husband and I, Paul, and our dog Daisy, who's no longer with us, she passed away 2 years ago. We have been traveling the United States and working for the last 4.5 years. Since that time, my life has changed quite a lot. My daughter had my first grandson, and so I have, in the last year to year and a half, I've been trying to find a place to settle down and spend some time near my grandson. So yeah, this is going to be about the journey of transforming the little property that I just recently purchased into a home where I can make memories with my family. It's been a long time coming. I won't go into a lot of detail. It'll become very clear over each video. I'll go more into depth about my life, but just very briefly, just so that you kind of understand where I'm coming from. And I met my husband, who is a Brit, about 19 years ago, and Paul and I have been married. We're coming up on 19 years. So he's got 2 children that live in the United Kingdom. I've got 2 children here. I've got a son in Washington, D.C. and a daughter in Tallahassee. My grandson is in Tallahassee, Florida. So we have been kind of splitting our time for the last 19 years to meet family obligations. We both had aging parents. His father's passed, my father's passed. His mother has got severe dementia, so she's still alive in the United Kingdom. So it's been a very complicated relationship, trying to maintain family ties in 2 countries. Paul and I are not wealthy people. We've just had to make sacrifices to make this relationship work so that we can both be with our children and the people who are important to us. So since COVID, we have been on the road full-time, working and traveling the United States, which has been a great experience. But we both have reached a point, aging on the road is kind of a scary thing. If you're starting to have some health issues and you just reach a point where you want a bit more stability. So that's why we've made the difficult decision to settle down now and split our time between the United Kingdom and Florida. I don't know if this will be a permanent base for me, but I know right now this is where I feel like I need to be for my little grandson. He's coming up on 2, and I've spent as much time with him as I possibly can, given the fact that we still have to work. But now this I think is going to give me a lot more time with him. So the channel is going to be about living a life in the United States and the United Kingdom on a tight budget. Paul and I, as I said, neither of us are retired. Neither of us are wealthy, so we do make sacrifices to make this work, but it still has afforded us a really interesting life, I think. I'm a dual citizen, so I've loved my time in England, as has Paul enjoyed his time in the United States, and we consider both countries our home, because I've spent the majority of the last 19 years in the United Kingdom, and it's only been this last 4.5 years that Paul has regularly been in the United States, and he loves it. So you will get to know Paul through this channel as well. So about this property that I purchased, as you can see, it is going to need a lot of work. I suppose on the surface, it didn't seem as bad as what it actually is now that we are in the house. But it's a small property, and I think it's going to be quite easy to maintain when all of the remodeling is done, but it's proven to be the most difficult move that I've had. This is, I believe, move number 32 in my life. I've moved around a lot, not by choice. We've always had to move for work and job opportunities, but this has been the most difficult, and that could be because of our age, but it could also be the fact that we had to transition out of a 30-foot RV where that's been our home for the last almost 5 years, and we've accumulated so much stuff in it. And I will admit, I also had 2 very large storage units, 10 by 15, that were full. And we've also got the same in the United Kingdom. We've got a small property there, but we've got a storage unit there that's full that we've got to go through when I return there at the beginning of 2026. So this is my story. This is the journey that I'm on now. I hope that you will find it inspiring. I love to cook. We love to be outdoors, hiking, doing day trips out. We like to kayak, camp, and so the channel is going to be quite a mix of home life and little day trips out in the United Kingdom. Still hoping to do some traveling in the United States, but we're going to have to do it very different now, either a tent or a very small RV, because the vehicle we've got now is it wouldn't tow what we were living in, so we're having to sell that. So that's what the channel is going to be about. I just wanted to give that quick introduction in case you were wondering, whoa, what is this channel going to be about? It's just going to be a daily vlog of my life. You'll come along on the journey and see how the house changes over the course of time. I'm already finding that it's not progressing as quickly as I want. I am not a very patient person, and this is going to be a tester for me, but it's going to be interesting. I hope you'll enjoy the content, and I hope you'll find some inspiration here and just enjoy tagging along. So thank you so much for stopping by today, and I look forward to getting to know you better. Take care. Bye-bye. Okay guys, so this is it. At this point in time, we've now been in the property for about, well, I've had the keys for 2 weeks, but we've actually only been living here for just over a week, and there's still so much to do. We have not had the chance to paint. It's just been going through a massive amount of containers. As you all know, or maybe you don't know, I love to thrift, and over the last 5 years, I am kind of embarrassed to say I have just been thrifting on our journeys, and it's been shocking how much I've accumulated. So as you can see here, this is what we're up against. This paper, they had not prepared this wall before they put the wallpaper on, so this is what unfortunately is happening. As you try to get the wallpaper backing off, we are tearing up the drywall. So we have decided to go a different route. And if you have had any experience with this, I would love to know what your thoughts are. We are going to get the vinyl portion of this off and try to get as much of this loose stuff sanded down and then apply a texture paint and then paint over that. I don't know how that's going to work. We are going to start the process tomorrow, and you will be seeing if that's going to be a solution for us or not. So I'll just take you quickly through and you can kind of see where we're at. The house is a mess, but I am not going to try to show you a fake property. That's not what this channel is about. It's just being real. There's so much to be done. This vanity or dressing table, I have got to redo that, but that's way down the road. The TV, this will eventually be mounted in the living room, but we can't even think about that kind of thing right now. Now, this is our bedroom. This is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath property. I have managed to paint this wall and this wall, but I've still got to come back and do all of the trim, but I have achieved that, and I've got the ceiling done. But as you can see, the property has popcorn and it's got to have some repairs done to it. We just could not afford to have decorators come in and remove that popcorn. We had a estimate, and if I could have afforded to do it, I would have loved to have just had it decorated. I don't enjoy painting. I hoped that the days of painting were over for me, but we just couldn't. We could not afford it. These are the doors. We've got 2 doors that we've already purchased on clearance. So I'm excited. That will be next year though. So unfortunately, we're going to have to live with those in here. But I will show you some things that I've thrifted. I managed to thrift 2 of these beautiful brass lamps at a local shop here in Tallahassee, and also these vintage nightstands. I fell in love with those, and I couldn't believe that I snagged them. This is a picture, I'm sorry for the glare, that I thrifted up in Minnesota. I fell in love with that picture, the old dog laying there. Doesn't he look comfortable? So yeah, the bed that we've had for years, it's on, unfortunately, we have had some rust because it's been in storage for so long. So next year, this will all be taken out and sprayed into an ivory. I'm either going to go with an ivory or a bronze color. I'm starting to now think, because of the walls, I think I'm going to go with a bronze, but I'm curious to know your thoughts. Please let me know in the comments below what you think. I'm not a fan of black. I either want it to be ivory or the bronze, and this is black and silver, so it's gotta be changed. Temporarily, we have had to take up the carpeting, and this is our outdoor rug that we used when we were on the road in our little. We had one of the screened rooms, and that was just a wonderful little outdoor space for us. So temporarily we're having to use that because this will be one of the last things that gets done. So I needed something that we could walk around on. So this is the 2nd bedroom. It's coming along. Again, a lot of work to be done here. I'm going to attempt to start on the painting of this room tomorrow, and I want to just stick with it until it's completely done. Again, I'm on the lookout for a rug so that when my son comes at Christmas, I want him to have something that he can step on instead of cold concrete. A lot of this stuff I'm still working my way through. and picking up, you know, bits of artwork that I can hang once we get kind of organized. So it's just been a lot. A lot of things. I'm trying to get rid of these bar stools. I had purchased those thinking I could make use of them, but unfortunately there's no place in this property. But yeah, you can see on the ceiling, I just had the vents cleaned yesterday, and so all of this needs painting. So yeah, it's been, as I said, we knew the things that we were up against, but with all of these older properties, there's always the unseen. This is the bathroom. I have showed you clips of that when we came in. It's just a wreck right now. We're really struggling to get everything done and still maintain a tidy house, but we have managed to make progress on the skylight. Now, when we moved in, we knew there were issues because it came up in the inspection, but what we didn't know is the first rain after we moved in, I showed you guys the water that was running down the wall. So I was thrilled when we were able to get this repaired. 3 days after we took possession of the property, we were able to get that repaired, and I am so glad because that was terrifying to see that water coming in like that. So yeah, there's a lot to be done. The bathroom, it needs some work. I don't know how quickly this is going to happen. The toilet, it just needs a complete remodel. The only thing I would probably like to keep is these because they do match my kitchen cabinets, but they're going to need a refinish. And then I've got some great ideas on what I want to do with this mirror because I'm going to keep it, but as you can see, it's got this along the edge, but I am going to try. I've got a solution for that. It's just getting time. And again, you can see more damage on this popcorn ceiling. I don't know. I may regret not just going ahead and taking the time to get it down, but I just feel like it's just too much right now to try to tackle a job that big. I think all we can do is just try to get this place livable, and then as time goes on, I'll see about potentially we're taking all of that, but I don't know. Now that we're living in it, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that's a job for when it's vacant. But anyways, guys, that's I've got my chili on. As you saw, I did a little clip on some chili today so that I won't have to be worried about cooking. And we did manage to get our appliances in, and I'm pretty happy with them. We've still got some issues. The range, we've found that behind it, as you can see, is sticking out quite far. We've found out that there's a fixture behind on the wall that there was evidently propane in here at some point in time. So next year, that's another thing we've got to pay to have removed, is that fixture, because we've got to be sure that there's not gas in the line. It's not a job that Paul can do. So that's what it's looking like so far. Lots still to organize. I mean, it's unbelievable. That's all my kitchen stuff that I have no place for. But it'll come together, and hopefully come together in the next couple of weeks. I think the main thing right now is if I can just get the place painted, then I feel like I can move forward with it. But we've done a lot. Well, we've had a lot to sort through, and I'm pretty pleased with the progress so far. So I'm grateful to have this big pantry. It's quite a difference from what life was like in the RV, trying to manage in just such a small space. It feels huge, and yet we've completely filled the place up already. And that's what I'm doing at the moment is just taking stuff to the thrift stores and also selling some items. So anyways, that's where we're at today. Hopefully I can show you in the next video. I'm hoping I'm showing you a completely painted house.